This is the day the Lord hath made. Be glad and rejoice in it. My mom told me to say that every morning when I wake up. I don't actually do that, but I do it when I think about it. I think it is a good way to start your day. All the pretty fall leaves, and they're starting to fall down. Really dark clouds in the distance. Except we're gonna get some rain today. Doing the water thing today. No coffee, not yet anyway. My stomach's a little burny, it's a little upset. When I was like 3 and 4 years old, I remember lying down in bed and at night, and I would close my eyes to go to sleep. And every night, when I closed my eyes, in that vast blackness in your mind as you're lying there in the dark, a hypnotist will, from the distance, it would look like a little light, a speck of light in the black, and it would come closer and closer and closer and closer till it get right in front of my face, and it would be spinning like it was trying to hypnotize me. And it wouldn't go away until I told it good night. I would tell it good night, and it would then go away. And this happened night after night. This happened for probably, I don't know, a year or more. It was when I was young. It happened for a long time. You know, I told my parents about it, but they didn't seem to think anything about it. But I think it's kind of weird. I've never been able to explain that. We didn't watch TV. I wasn't allowed to watch TV when I was little. At that point, what I was watching was Romper Room. That was it, Romper Room. And I think Captain Kangaroo. That was it. So I had no like outside influences. Like, well, what comes to mind, I think, is it the Twilight Zone, or is that the one? One of those has a spinning, I think, hypnotist wheel, but I never saw that until I was older because I wasn't allowed to. When I was 3 and 4, no TV for me except Romper Room and Captain Kangaroo. But anyway, that's something that happened. But along that same period of time, and this is weird because, see, now I don't remember this, but my mom used to tell me when I got older, like in my 20s and things, and it would come up every now and then. She would tell me that when I was 3 or 4, that young age, that I would tell her that at night when I was alone in my room, that a little man would come and sit on my chest of drawers, and he would talk to me and we would have conversations. And this was quite regular. I would tell her this little man would come and sit on my chest of drawers, and we would have a conversation. We'd just talk. He was my friend, I guess. I don't remember that, but she said that. And I'm sure she probably opened the door a little bit and maybe even stayed in there some nights to see what would happen. But nothing obviously happened while she was in there. But I don't even know what that was about. I really don't know. Overactive child imagination. Maybe, maybe not. I really don't know, because I had no outside influences to influence that kind of fabrication, making a man appear, on my chest of drawers. That just seems kind of weird for someone who doesn't have that material in my brain from all these TV programs to, fuel that, whatever it was, creation. I don't know. But also, she said one night she heard me screaming. My mom used to always say bloody murder. I was screaming like bloody murder. And I guess that just means like maybe I was being murdered, and there's blood everywhere. I don't know. But she said, I came running in because you were screaming in the middle of the night like bloody murder. And she said she turned on the light, and I was just a young kid, 3 or 4, but I was standing in the middle of my bed, naked, and I was staring at the closet, and I was just screaming. I don't remember that either. There was another time, now I don't remember exactly how this goes, but it was along that same period of time, 3, 4, 5. She used to watch soap operas back in the day, and I was outside playing in the dirt, digging holes and all that. And I don't remember exactly how it goes. But the next thing she knew, a woman from like 2 blocks down brought me home and told my mom that I was in her backyard just sitting and digging in her backyard. I don't know. I don't remember walking down there. I don't know how I got there. I don't remember anything about that. But I had a lot of these like strange incidents when I was growing up. You know, that hard to explain. But I mentioned before, my mom was, and this has nothing to do with anything, I'm just throwing this out there, but during that time it makes me think that my mom was a Christian Science practitioner, and she was a Christian Science first reader of the church, which is kind of like the preacher. I think Christian Science, they view the science and health as their preacher. That was written by Mary Baker Eddy. And the readers, but officially they're like a preacher, because they stand before the congregation. There's a first reader and a second reader. The first reader reads out of the science and health, and then the second reader reads out of the Bible. I believe that's how it was, because I had to go when I was little. So, you know, I was in Christian Science for a long time. I don't think I really ever like really bought into it like 100%. I mean, I did see, as a practitioner, I did see my mom heal people through prayer, but obviously at the hand of Jesus. I mean, it wasn't really her. I don't know what actually Christian scientists believe, like where the healing comes from. I know they believe that everything around us is spiritual and not material. Like this is spiritual, it's not material. And as a Christian now, of course, I believe that we do have a spiritual body. And yeah, we'll be very aware of that one day. More so, I think, than we are now, because all this material things around us kind of keeps us grounded. But I don't know, I was thinking about that. I think it was yesterday. All those weird incidents that I had in my life. My oldest son, now he had not a similar incident, but you know, he had something happen when my mom died in 2011. He was 2. He was just about to turn 2. Anyway, it was a few weeks, I guess, after she passed away. I would take him over to my mom's, and we would, you know, do things together. And he asked, you know, where's Grandma? Oh, honey, he died. she died. She went to live with Jesus in heaven. He accepted that. Okay, that you'll see her again someday. And like I said, he just totally accepted that. We never discussed anything about her death or why she died or anything. I mean, she died of a very common thing. She died of a bleeding ulcer, something that could have been corrected, but because she was a Christian Scientist, she wouldn't go to the doctor until it was too late. She would just pray about it and try to heal herself. And well, she's dead. She died. Suffice it to say, she was 86 years old, so she was older, but still she could have survived, I'm sure, an operation or whatever, a bleeding ulcer necessitates. But anyway, the point is, there was nothing to discuss. She died of a bleeding ulcer. It's not like we had to have these long discussions on what happened to my mother. We never discussed it in the house, ever. Yet one day, we were riding in the car. And this is probably, a couple months after my mom died. And my little boy, who is now, he had just turned 2. And he just, out of the blue, he said, I know why Grandma died. And we just turned around and he was in a car seat. He said, her stomach stopped working. And we were like, how did you know that? How did you know that? And he said, the woman told me. So we, pulled over to the side of the road and we were like, what woman, when? Because he never left us. I mean, we were with him all the time. Excuse me, all the time. He didn't go to a nursery. He didn't go to a preschool. We were with him all the time. We homeschool our kids, and it started way back then. We were with him. He said that last night, a woman beside my bed told me that. And we, asked him questions. He couldn't really answer too many questions like what she looked like and things. He was only 2, at the time. But he did say it was not Grandma. It wasn't Grandma. Was it? Because, we asked, that's a common thing. Well, was it Grandma? No, it wasn't Grandma. But it was a woman. Said that Grandma's stomach stopped working. And that's why she died. So that was kind of odd, too. And I'll tell you one more thing that's happened kind of weird, and then I'll go ahead and probably call it a day. We got our new home, modular home, up on the top of the mountain, and after things settled in, my wife and I, this was before my son was born, we would be in bed like late at night, 2, 3 in the morning. It was like in the middle of the night, and we would hear this desperate banging on our door. Bam, 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 bam. And quickly I would look out the window because we were right there by the window, our bed, and there would be nobody there. So I would run to the front door, turn on the light, and look around, and nobody anywhere. And this happened over and over, like not consecutive nights, but it happened over and over a period of like a year. Several times this happened. And we've never been able to explain that. I mean, no one was there, and by the time we looked out, no one was there, and it was like within seconds. No one could have, we have a big front yard, no one could have just like traversed that, length of yard that quickly. And then it stopped. It stopped. So, anyway, I got a lot to do today. Tomorrow we leave on our flight to fly down to Miami, go out on a cruise. We could get a lot of rain. And to be honest with you guys, I'm a little nervous about coming back to Port Miami 2 or 3 days after the election, if you know what I mean, because we're just hoping it'll be safe when we get back to Miami. Anyway, remember to read the 91st Psalm, the 23rd Psalm, and the Lord's Prayer. I do that every night to my kids. I told you in a prior video, my wife and she reads from the Bible every night, and I read the 91st, the 23rd, and the Lord's Prayer every night to my kids. And as I said before, they've made the comment like, wow, I'll know this, inside and out. It's like, yeah, that's the reason I'm doing it. So you can call upon these verses, the scripture, in your times of need if you should ever need immediate protection or anything like that. Okay. Take care, guys. Remember, God is good, and God bless you. Take care.